Right, so today we're going to be making another set of these. Kenta and I recently made these two benches, and for today the plan is to make identical design but with different joints. So instead of using nails, we're going to be using dowel joints, and we've bought some of these bolts. So the idea is that you can essentially have all of the wooden pieces and construct it yourself. But there's a lot of woodwork going on today at SFC, and we're just about to get started. You ready, mate?
Yes, I am.
Alright, let's get it. So we've just cut out all of the leg pieces here, and we sorted them out in pairs that we want. We're just looking for like knots and blemishes on the wood that we want to hide. So we've strategically sort of paired up the wood pieces with the nice patterns on the outside. This one's quite pretty, so we'll leave that on the outside. And the next step in the process is to start drilling holes and then passing these bolts and nuts through. We want to have these recessed, so when the chairs are stacked they can slide in and out quite smoothly. So the plan is to sort of have a little recessed hole about 20 millimeters wide, and yeah, it should look quite clean. This is my station over here, and this is Kenta's station. So it is currently the next day. Kenta and I called it quits yesterday after about 4 or 5 hours of working, and just give a little update because I didn't film as much as I thought yesterday. So this is what the legs are currently looking like. So we've used these flathead bolts, and we've recessed the holes so that they are flush with the surface. And the idea is now to make holes for dowels here so that the legs can slot on without the use of any nails. Now, currently we're just making these brackets really quick so that every time we make a hole, we don't need to mark it out like I did with this one. You can just have this slide on like that. This will already have holes pre-drilled, so we just need to follow that, beep, 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 and then we're good. So Kenta's just making another bracket here very quickly, and then we will be on our way. We're about 70% complete, but hopefully by the end of this afternoon we will have 2 more chairs. So we have the jig set up now. We're about to drill 5 holes. 5 holes here, like that, so. Chairs are coming along. We just got the final piece to put on now. All these have been joined by the dowels. We did have a few little mock-ups here and there, but you know what? A bit of character. Alright, so we've just finished the final construction of our version 3 of the chair. This was the first chair that I built. This was inspired off a chair that I saw in Singapore. and it's essentially two small stools that can be put together like so. But there isn't much other functionality other than that. So version 2, we made the stool a little bit bigger and we added some bottoms to it. Now, as you can see, there are little handles here. So again, you can use them as two separate stools. But the big change we made was that we adjusted the angle of the legs so that they could be constructed like so. And now you have a very stable 3 planks on the bottom, 3 planks on top. But unfortunately this design, it uses screws, and we want it to be, well, the furniture we want to design is should be completely disassemblable. And so we thought of different ways that we could go about it, and we ended up going for something that was inspired off of IKEA furniture. So this is our version 3. So version 3 uses these Allen key bolts that can be unscrewed and screwed very easily. And the tops, whereas these were screwed in, these are now using dowel joints. Now we made it so that the dowel joints, the holes in the legs are 7mm and the holes in the tops are 8mm. And the dowels themselves are 8mm, so when you hammer it off like this, the dowel bits themselves won't come out of the legs. This is a completely flat packable, and yeah, it's very similar. All the functionality is exactly the same as this. So you can mix and match the designs if you'd like. Obviously this one is made to look a little bit different. We waxed it, and one of the biggest advantages of having them be able to stack like so is that we can make a shelf out of these as well. So if you imagine 2 of these, there you go, like that, shelf on top of each other, or you can stack them side by side on top of each other like that. You could put stuff like in like that. And that's about it really. We've come a long way since this first design, but we managed to find a very usable, simple, and quite, if I don't say so myself, quite an aesthetically pleasing product. So this is the mini stool. Alright, thank you for watching.
Thank you.